Hello, this is Tanmay, and today in this video, I'll be telling you how we can build our own tool using the GTM API. So in the previous video, I covered some of the functions of the GTM API, where I was exploring with certain functions using the explore feature that GTM provides us. You can just try out this, or you can refer to my previous video. And if I try to build a tool using this GTM API, then definitely I'll have to code. So to make that code and for making this tool, what I'm going to do this, the objective of this video is to create a tool that fetches us data from all our GTM accounts and containers and what's their current status, like latest version, tag, trigger, and variables. Now, all the data that you are able to see here is dynamically fetched, and if there is some update onto our containers or account, that can also be reflected here by using a very small feature here that's called extensions. So basically what I have done here is I have created an extension. You can see demo GTM add-on, and here you can just fetch GTM hierarchy. So number one question, that how we are going to do that, and number two question, how is it coming here in the drop down menu. So for answering the first question, we'll use this apps script that is provided by Google. So if you click on this, you will be taken to a similar dashboard. Now initially all this editor would be empty in your case, because uh, this this would be nearly the first time that you have opened this, so it would be empty. So first you will have to give a name here. According to me, this name was good, so I pass on this. And after that, you can write a certain code here, a certain piece of code here, uh, for which that extension that we are trying to build to fetch data, like to fetch dynamic data from the Google Tag Manager and just display it here. So to do this, first we'll have to create a function that is nearly the first function that will be executed when the extension is called. So in my case, I have used on open function. Now the main purpose of this function is to simply adds a item that is basically it gets added to the UI of the website, or the sheet that we are using, and we are trying to create a menu here, and for that purpose we have used spreadsheet app dot get UI and create add-on menu. So like this, we have created an add-on menu, option, and the thing will be coming up there into the drop down. And then if I talk about for the 62 line, then it is saying that we are saying menu.add item fetch GTM hierarchy. Now this is the option name that is coming there when I hover over the add-on option. And the another argument is a function called build sheet. Now basically all our sheet that you are able to see here in this Excel is being built using the build sheet function. Nearly everything is happening here. So I'll just tell you how. So if you look on to our build sheet function, what's happening here is we are first of all we are making space for our headers. So headers is nothing but the first row of a table, like account name, container ID. All the first row is a header, and so to make the same, we have made an array for the purpose. Now you can add a header here according to your choice. And then we have created a sheet name called GTM hierarchy. Now there can be two instances that already a GTM hierarchy has been created as a sheet name, and if it is not created, then only it will create it again and insert the sheet. Else it will just erase the sheet and load the data again, so that on every refresh this thing will happen. This thing is going to happen. If the sheet exists, then the data will be cleared, and then again the data will be populated. Or if the sheet is not there, then then the sheet will be created first, and then the data will be populated. So this is all about creating a sheet onto the GTM, onto the Excel, and we have used the API here, and now we are talking about actually inserting those headers, the headers array that we created here. So build headers, in this we are passing two arguments. One is the sheet itself, the sheet we are currently active on, that is the GTM hierarchy, and the headers is the array that we are passing here. So this is a function that's present here, and you can see we are also catching the same arguments. And for the sheet.getRange function, now there are three values, actually four values that are passed here. So the number one is the cell number that we want to start, and then there is row, column, and then there is headers.length that we have passed here, and also we have set the values using the set values function of the same headers array. So what's happening here, this piece of line is making space onto the sheet for inserting data, and after that we are actually inserting data of the headers. So if I just executed only this piece of code, then I would be getting just the first row onto my Excel sheet. So now our headers are there. Now there is a function in build sheet, coming back to it, it's called populate data. Now this populate data is basically inserting data, the dynamic data, into our Excel. So if I look onto the argument, it says sheet build data and headers.length. So build data is a separate function, and we are also passing the headers.length. This signifies that, okay, how many columns are actually we adding. So if we say build data, if I just scroll up to show you that, this is the build data that is here. Now it simply says var accounts equal to get accounts. That means all the accounts. I showed you how we are actually getting the accounts into the GTM API. If you go to accounts list and here by execute this same function, then what's going to happen is all the accounts that are being created with a certain email ID will be displayed there. So if I have executed that code, then you can see I will be getting a list of accounts there. So all these accounts can also be accessed using the get accounts method. So we have also used the same method here. Now all the accounts are there, and we are passing it to build container hierarchy. Now note this thing, we have passed the entire accounts array into the same. So let's see what's actually is build container hierarchy. So here we are catching the accounts array, and we have created a dummy array as well for manipulating the data here. And then for each value or for each element of the array accounts, we are extracting a single account. And after extracting that single account, we are just getting hold of the account ID and the container ID using the function called get latest version. This is also part of GTM API, and get latest version is just getting us the value of the latest version, that okay, so this container is on what version right now, what's the latest version of this container, we are able to get it. And one more thing to note here, if you notice something, if I talk about a single account here, we are getting a lot of values. Now we are not concerned about these. What we are actually concerned about is only two values, that is name and the account ID of that account. So in this, what we have done is we are trying to get hold of only the account ID and the container ID. And while we are pushing the same, we are also just pushing those two things. And if I just scroll down to where we were actually, now the populate data has been executed, and we have got the actual values from here when we executed this function for accounts. And after getting all the value like container ID and everything, we have passed on the data here. That means we are passing on the data here, and then the populate data function will run, and it's going to get nearly all the fields that are going to be there onto our containers or accounts. So if in a particular container if there is a particular account, first we'll start with the account. If in a particular account there's a particular container, and inside that container there will be a container ID that is being unique to the container. After that, there will be latest version, tag, triggers, and variables. So if you see, if you want to execute the piece of code, first we'll have to save it using this save project option. And after that, we'll have to run it. Now, this run will not only give you the values, like the console will be, the execution log will be here, and we'll also be getting the values here. So you can run this function by here itself. No need to go to app product, add-on project all the time. You can just simply pick on extension. It will take some time to load. In most of the cases, it's not there initially, but after some time, it's just gets added to the menu. Now you can click this demo GTM add-on and fetch GTM hierarchy function you have to your end onto this Excel. You can directly execute this. And after you execute this, your sheet will be populated. Do not forget to use the GTM hierarchy. Like there can be a lot of sheets in your Excel, so do not forget to select the expected sheet. And then if you notice, all the data will be there. Now, if I talk about my account name DataVinci module and container name DataVinci site, now in that I am getting all these values that are dynamic. There are five versions in all total, and number of tags are 15, triggers 14, and variables are 11. So this was quite useful when we talk about we can create our own tools using the API, and it's kind of like a custom template that we have made. And to sum up, if you really want to create things like this, you can always refer the documentation of the GTM API from here. So that's all for this video, and thanks for watching.